Listen to me so closely, please. I know that there are a million things that you have to do. There are responsibilities, very real responsibilities. There are people depending on you, people in your family, people at work, clients, whatever the case may be. I know that that is a reality in your life, but you cannot keep running on empty. You cannot keep showing up everywhere and for everyone from a place of emptiness. If you do not sit still long enough to be filled, you're going to be correct in feeling that there is not enough of you to go around. You do not have to spread yourself thin. You do not have to please everyone. It is impossible to please everyone. It is impossible to fill every single need. There is only one who can do that, and it is not you. Does this mean that we dismiss people and their very real needs? Does this mean that we dismiss our very real responsibilities? No. But I've been telling you for months, if not years, if you've been following me, that a woman needs 3 daily appointments: one with God, one with herself, and then her appointments with others, in that order. Because when you don't do it in that order, you show up empty. And we live in a society that glorifies showing up empty. We live in a society that glorifies the struggle. As a matter of fact, congratulates you for settling and struggling and then calling it strength. And so if you're a woman whose identity is based on the applause of others, you will continue to keep yourself unconsciously. You continue to keep yourself in this place of struggle, right? In this place of settling and making do and making the best of what you have. And you get a pat on the back. And it's called resourcefulness. What if you can live from a place of faith, a place of hope, a place of healing, a place of peace, even while working towards the life that you want? Because you were not created for struggle. You were created from abundance, and you were created for abundance. And abundance does not necessarily mean money in your pocket, properties everywhere. Abundance also means going through the hard times, going through the challenging times, and still having hope, and still having peace, and being able to forgive, and being able to love, and being able to embrace new opportunities and new challenges without fear. That is abundance. Do not limit your life to what you have had to struggle through. Do not limit your life to the challenges that you have faced or the challenges that other people around you have faced. There are things that you have been created to achieve and to receive that are beyond your current comprehension, but have definitely been assigned to your life. I am in the process of revisioning, and I thought I was done. I thought I was done. And a beautiful woman who you may have heard of, her name is Rachel Luna. She recently passed away. And her passing hit me so hard. And I really had to sit quietly with this for some days before I spoke again. I am measuring my words. I am curating what I create. I'm curating it in private for myself first before I bring it to any of my platforms. And I'm sitting back and I'm watching so much content and I'm scrolling, not out of boredom, but for observation, and seeing that a lot of us are trying to copy and paste instead of creating. There is this fear that is driving so many women to want a quick fix. And I get it. I get it. When you have been frustrated for so long, you want a quick fix. But a soulless solution is going to give you a soulless experience. And when your soul is restless, even in the midst of what looks like success, when your soul is restless, you are not going to be fulfilled. You are not going to be happy. And a word God gave me for August is authenticity. And the authenticity is not just about you showing up as the woman you are, it's authenticity of your vision, it's authenticity of your intentionality. Are you really diligent? Are you really caring? Are you really loving? Are you really supportive? Or are you doing what other people expect you to do? And I'll give you an example from my own life. I was the person who would drop everything to be there for certain people in my life. And I would always get the feedback that I was caring and I was attentive and I was loving. But the truth is, when I sat with myself and when I sat with God, when I had those first 2 daily appointments, the truth is that I was insecure. And the truth is that I wanted to be indispensable in the lives of certain people because that would secure my identity. I needed to be needed. And even though I was doing the right things, I was doing them for the wrong reason. And that led to burnout, that led to resentment, that led to broken relationships. It doesn't matter what your vision is. It doesn't matter what your goal is in life. If part of that goal is not to heal yourself and the people who you encounter, if part of that goal is not to be a woman who provides solutions that come from strategy and not scarcity, if part of that goal is not to be a light in the world, then I don't know what we're doing. And it doesn't mean that every one of us is going to have a huge platform. You could be a housewife, you can be a CEO, you can be a nurse, you could be a trash collector, you can be a crochet artist, you can be whatever, but every single woman has a unique influence, a unique essence. And am I going to say it concerns me? I won't say it scares me. It concerns me how much we consume and copy. We copy and paste. And there's nothing wrong with seeing an outfit on a woman and saying, well, I'd like to wear that. I like that. That's kind of my style. That's another thing. Like, what is your style? Like, do you know what your style is? Or is your style what's trending? I speak to so many women who are looking at their wardrobes and they're like, I have nothing to wear. Meanwhile, their clothes are in multiple rooms in their homes, and yet they have nothing to wear. And it's because we are not being intentional about curating our wardrobes, our friendships, our beliefs, our standards. You cannot outsource your vision. You cannot outsource your purpose. You cannot outsource your evolution. You cannot outsource the essence of who you are. This is your soul. And I realize how deep this is getting. And I'm revamping the whole vision sequence. I'm relaunching, because it's time for us to get deeper. It's time for us to go beyond the surface level of, I want to have this much money in the bank at the end of the year. I want my relationship to look like X, Y, and Z. And sometimes that goal, the desires that we have, come from the influence of other people who have copied and pasted other people. So we're living in a place where there are women who are copied and pasted versions of each other. Don't you like these women on the internet? And I'm not saying all, but scroll through and look at especially the aesthetic videos, like the makeup videos and the fashion. You see the same thing over and over and over again, because the algorithm is feeding off what's popular, and then what's popular gets populated throughout, and then that becomes the beauty ideal, that becomes the standard. You got to wear this shirt, you have to do your makeup this way, you have to do your hair this way, and you lose your unique essence. And God forbid we lose our authenticity. Because I was not created to look like you. You were not created to look like me. I was not created to sound like you. I was not created to create like you. And you were not created to sound like me or to create like me. Do you know what happens when a woman finds her unique essence? When a woman finds her authenticity? Everybody benefits. And the whole concept of curating, of creating and carrying out your unique personal vision is not even about you. It's about everyone that you will encounter, because the people that you are afraid of disappointing if you change, the people you are afraid of outgrowing, the people you are afraid of leaving behind need that next version of you. So you have a choice to make at this point. Are you going to stay the same? Are you going to copy and paste? Or are you going to pull back? Are you going to sit with yourself and figure out why you're here, what you're supposed to be doing with your life? Not in one area, but in all of them. Because the truth is, we'd love to compartmentalize everything, but that's not how it works. That is not how it works. Everything affects everything else. How you travel affects your marriage. Your marriage affects your finances. Your finances affect your health. Your health affects how you show up at work. All these things. So when you start to create that personal vision of what your life looks like, it's so tempting to start with the problem, with the number one problem. And the number one problem may not be what you think it is. And it requires some focus And it requires you to be willing to go deeper and not just slap a quick fix on top of it, because that's going to come back. And if you find yourself facing the same issue over and over and over and over again, don't glorify the struggle. Don't glorify the fact that you're able to keep showing up, because it may just be that if you take one day and not show up for that thing, but show up for yourself, you'll find the strategy that's going to get you out of that struggle. Something for you to think about today. I hope this helps. Blessings on your journey. There are resources in the description or in the bio, depending on where you are watching this, if you want to take this a step further. I'm here to help. I'll talk to you soon.